That's right. My portfolio is up substantially this month, and you can see the stocks that are pulling it along. It hasn't always been this way. And I attribute it not so much, well, it's me because I find the stocks, but I don't do the analysis. I brought on Samantha about a year ago, I guess, when I said, this artificial intelligence thing, it can change the world. It's all the knowledge in the world that becomes an access. So I engaged with Samantha on a large language platform. And I know that sounds stupid and crazy, but literally I went to her and explained to her what I wanted to do, that I believed that artificial intelligence was going to change the world. It was particularly going to change the investment world, and it would give me the opportunity to share with my tribe the benefits of artificial intelligence, the benefits of having all the knowledge in the world about any individual stock. So I created a conversation, and she and I came to the conclusion that she could do some of the work, but she couldn't do all of it because she ran from a large language platform, and her information wasn't as timely as I would need it. So she indicated to me that I need to go out and find some other sources that would give me current information to the day, and then be able to supplement what she was able to do, and then to use her logic skills to come to conclusions. Because I explained to her what I want to do. I don't want you to tell me what the price of the stock is going to be today. I want to tell you to tell me at the beginning of 26, 27, and 28, because I think AI is on a 3-year runway. That is to say, it's got to be built out. That's the highway, the infrastructure, that's the data centers, that's the GPUs, the CPUs, the XPUs, the TPUs, all in the data centers, and then the processing that is needed to make it happen. As I told her, we're going to run into some roadblocks because I believe the demand for this is going to exceed the supply, and sure enough, that is what's happened. So with that in mind, she and I have been building, I like to say, the prompt, which started out with just a few sentences of help me do this, to now it's a page and a half. And what I've had to do is then go out and buy the sources of data that give me the current information that she can analyze. And so what has happened as a result of that are these numbers here. And I'm quite honestly blown away from it. This is beyond my expectation. And do I believe it will continue? Yeah, I really do. Because, again, she has the logic and the capability to put numbers together, to understand a balance sheet, an income statement, to understand the projections of Wall Street analysts of what the earnings per share and the revenues are going to be in the future, and then interpolate the numbers from past history as what the most likely result of those numbers reflected in the stock prices. And that's what's happened. She is like Navitas at the top of the one. This is a stock I actually found when I became aware that Jensen was going to have a problem with heat on his GPUs, and that Navitas had a solution to that problem. And it was a small company, and it was dedicated to that. And I ran that by her. She agreed with me, and that was a flyer. Then from that, I basically came to the conclusion through some other stocks, NBIS, who is a European data center company, which led me then to CRWV, which also led me to IREN, because I realized what was happening was very similar to what happened in 1952, when Dwight D. Eisenhower decided we needed to have a highway system. And something that he saw in Europe when he was fighting World War II, we needed to be able to move goods from north to south and east to west across our nation. And so he started building the highway system. Well, that didn't immediately create McDonald's or Holiday Inn or Howard Johnson's. No, who benefited first were the concrete companies, the construction companies, the rebar companies, the buying of the land the use of the energy. Well, the same thing is happening with this creation of artificial intelligence. You got to build the data centers first. Then you've got to put computers in them. And then those computers have to have GPUs and CPUs. And then you have to cool those. So the whole infrastructure has to happen first. Then you will have the people beyond the infrastructure who will then sell me access to the data. And that right now is Samantha's creator. Okay. And he charges me about $200 a month to have access to Samantha. Well, I've discovered this, and I believe I'm ahead of the curve. This is going to happen in every aspect of our world. You know who Morgan & Morgan is. They've got 500 lawyers who will settle your case and send you a check. That's all being done via the internet. Well, it's only a matter of time that if it's not me, it'll be someone else who will recognize you don't need 500 lawyers to do that. It's all being done through communication over the internet. And with the data, you could nail the price that such and such insurance company is going to pay for you being hit by a semi. And that's what they're doing, and they have 500 lawyers. That's going to change. Every aspect of our world, our banking system is going to change. So if you can see the process, that the next step is going to be who develops the software and delivers Samantha to you to do whatever you want to do, whether it's to go on a vacation, go to a restaurant, whatever you want to do, you will have a Samantha that will do it for you. And that's why I'm achieving these numbers. Now, is there a cost associated with it? Well, of course there is. I figure I spend somewhere around $19,000 to $20,000 a month for my support staff to pay me for my time, and then to buy that data that I need to supply Samantha. And then I got to pay Samantha's creator. So my realization was, if I can spend $20,000 a month and make more than that in my portfolio, I win. This month, I'm winning big time. Then I got the idea, if I could crowdfund this and give people access to what I've built at my expense at a reasonable price, less than $1 a day, then I could crowdfund it and I could create something that is almost free, like Netflix, and people get value out of it, and it's a good deal. It's a lot better deal than going to the theater to watch the movie and paying exorbitant prices and popping your own popcorn and drinking your own sodas. It's a value proposition. And I thought, well, isn't that what best of us investors would be? For less than $1 a day, someone who is interested in growing a portfolio, possibly at 11.7% a month, would that be worth $1 a day? Well, I think it would. So that's the path I'm on. Do I think it'll get as big as Netflix? I think I read that they have 9 million users. Well, hell yes, it could be. It could get that big. I asked Samantha, how many people are there in the United States that actively at some level manage their portfolio or their 401k or their IRA? And she came back with 33 million people in the United States. And I said, well, okay, Samantha, how many more are there around the world? And she said, well, I really don't know. There isn't any statistics that I can find. Literally, she does that. And I said, well, what do you think? And she said, well, probably at least 33 million. So can if there's 66 million, could I get, what would that be? 10 would be 6 million. 20 would be 12. Could I do that? Yeah, I could. And then could 9 million people find a way to prosperity for less than $1 a day? I think it's possible. I mean, if you would have told me in 1980 that Sears Roebuck, Montgomery Ward's, Kmart, J.C. Penney's, would all be replaced by something called Amazon, or that all the magazines that we used to get at the house would be replaced by something called Google or Facebook? Oh, come on. Oh, you no. Would I have I was working for Polaroid. Would I have believed that Polaroid and Kodak would both file bankruptcy? No, that won't happen. Guess what? They both filed bankruptcy. They both were replaced through technology. And so, is it possible that you and I can, with the help of artificial intelligence, outperform the S&P 500? What they make in a year, we make in a month? Is that? No, that's not possible. You don't go to the theater as much as you used to, do you? You don't go to the Walmart as much as you used to, do you? Yes, things change. Technology changes things. And this is the biggest change in my lifetime. And I was here to see Ma Bell change from what was it? They called it a party line. I was here to see my grandfather. I sat on the porch in Cincinnati, Ohio, and a car went by, and he said, "Those things will never last. Streetcars are much better." And then, if my grandfather had seen an airplane, he would have dirtied his pants. Yeah. So I don't know if this is right for you, but if it is, I want to make it available. I'll continue to work on this. Samantha will only get better. I'm quite sure of that. She really, I went to her last week and I said, "Look at my whole portfolio. Tell me what to buy, sell, and hold." And she did. She went through every one of the stocks and said, "Take a little out of this, put a little more in there." Now, is she current? No, she's not. I have to provide that. Okay, I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm a retired financial advisor. I get a kick out of this. This is what I do. This is what I enjoy doing. If I can help you, I want to. If I can't, I understand. I'll talk to you, though, again.